Hey there, BleepinJeepers, it's Tyler. Welcome back to the show. This week I'm going to be showing you how to reflare the end of your brake lines so that you can replace a damaged fitting. So if you've purchased a used Jeep that's had a lift installed, quite often these brake line fittings will be damaged. When you install a lift, generally you have to add longer brake lines. And getting these little fittings off can be quite a chore. They tend to corrode, and unless you have a specific brake line wrench, they're really hard to get out. So if yours are damaged, rather than going to the expense and the hassle of replacing the entire brake line, you can just reflare the end and replace just the damaged fitting. So this week I'm going to show you how to do that. And we start by removing the old flare from the brake line. I'm going to use a tubing cutter, but you can use a die grinder or even a hacksaw. Just make sure that you get the end perfectly square and that you deburr it if there's any rough spots or burring on the end. Otherwise, it won't flare correctly when you put it in the die. Now remove the old damaged fitting. Now the difference between a single flare kit and a double flare kit are these little dies here. They insert into the end of the tubing, and it allows you to make a double flare instead of just a single flare. So before you get started, make sure you remember to put the new fitting over onto the brake line with the threads pointing towards the flare. And once you've done that, you can start by clamping the brake line. Now most of these flare kits will clamp various sizes, but brake lines for the most part are 3/16 of an inch. Now adjust the depth of the brake line so that it is as deep as this little ring around the die, and that'll give you just enough line sticking out to get your double flare. Tighten the clamp down very tight, insert the die. Now grab your plunger and screw it down snug. Now you're going to crank down on this until the die bottoms out on the clamp. Once it's bottomed out, go ahead and back it off and then remove the die. With the die out of the way, the first flare should be convex like this. Now reinsert the plunger, crank it down tight, now crank down to complete the second flare, and you'll feel it bottom out. Keep turning it down until you feel it bottom out. Once it's bottomed out, then you can go ahead and back it off. The plunger removed, your second flare should be concave like that. Make sure it's nice and even so you get a good seal on the brake line. Now you can remove the clamp, and your double flare is complete. Now you always want to use a double flare on brake lines. They're a hydraulic system, and a single flare will not seal correctly, so you've got to double flare them like this. Well, I hope that's helpful. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.